Unleashing the Horror, Genghis Khan, Reign of Terror. Looking into the terrifying legacy of one of history's most feared conquerors. Join us as we explore the brutal tactics and merciless campaigns that earned Genghis Khan a place in history. Imagine the perspective of one of Genghis Khan's victims. It's one of horror and devastation. Imagine watching the Mongols descend upon your village, town, or city with a ferocity never seen before. Imagine listening to thundering horses as they get closer to your house. Hearing the arrows raining down upon the people of the village and the Mongol swords slashing through anyone who dares to resist. All you hear are the screams of the women and children as they were dragged away by Mongol soldiers, never to be seen again. The men are either killed on the spot or taken as slaves to serve in the Mongol army. The aftermath of the invasion is brutal. By the end, the village is burned to the ground, crops destroyed, and livestock taken. The Mongols show no mercy, leaving everyone with nothing but the clothes on their backs and the memories of their loved ones. And that's if you made it out alive. No one can forget the atrocities committed by Genghis Khan and his army. They left a trail of destruction in their wake, taking what they wanted without any regard for the lives of those conquered. As a victim, you're left with nothing but the scars of the brutal invasion, a constant reminder of the horrors of war and the consequences of unchecked power. Welcome to the Dark History Project, where we delve deep into the stories of the past that may have been overlooked or forgotten, but have had a significant impact on history. From forgotten battles and unsung heroes to tragic events and mysterious disappearances, we explore the darker corners of history to shed light on the stories that have shaped our world. Join us as we uncover the hidden tales that deserve to be remembered and bring them to light for a new generation of listeners. This is the Dark History Project. Before we get started, we would love for you to subscribe, like, and comment on whatever platform you are listening or viewing this on. That way you'll know when new episodes are available. Also, please share this episode with your friends and family if you think they'll find it interesting. So, on to today's topic. Our main character is the one and only Genghis Khan and his reign of terror. His origins. Genghis Khan, originally named Temujin, was born in 1162 in Mongolia. His early life was marked by hardship and tragedy, as he grew up in a world of constant conflict and turmoil. His father, 𝐦𝐤𝐳𝐵, was the chieftain of a small tribe until he was poisoned by a rival tribe when Temujin was only 9 years old. This left Temujin and his family vulnerable and without a leader. After the death of his father, Temujin and his family were forced to survive in the harsh Mongolian wilderness. They faced many challenges, including starvation and attacks by other tribes. In order to survive, Temujin had to learn how to hunt and fight, skills that would serve him well later in life. The Khan's early experiences with warfare and survival helped shape his character and develop his skills as a military strategist. He learned how to read the terrain, track his enemies, and use the element of surprise to gain an advantage. These skills would prove invaluable as he rose to power and conquered much of Central Asia. Despite his difficult early life, Temujin never lost his sense of determination and ambition. He dreamed of uniting the Mongol tribes under one banner and establishing himself as a powerful leader. His early experiences helped shape his character and prepare him for the challenges he would face in his quest for power. The rise to power. Known by his followers as the Great Khan, Genghis Khan's rise to power was marked by a series of impressive military victories, political alliances, and a keen understanding of diplomacy. One of the key factors in Genghis Khan's rise to power was the ability to unite several smaller Mongol tribes under his banner. He was able to forge alliances with other tribes by marrying into their families and offering them gifts and promises of protection. Over time, he was able to build a strong network of allies that he could rely on in times of war. Genghis Khan was a savvy military strategist who understood the importance of surprise, mobility, and the element of fear in warfare. He led a series of successful military campaigns against neighboring tribes using terror tactics such as mass executions and the killings of civilians to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies. He also made use of innovative military technologies, such as the use of composite bows and building networks of spies to gain an advantage over his opponents. As Genghis Khan's reputation as a skilled leader grew, he began to attract a following of loyal warriors who were willing to fight and die for him. He used these followers to launch a series of ambitious military campaigns, conquering much of Central Asia and parts of Eastern Europe. One of the key moments in Genghis Khan's rise to power was his victory over the powerful 𝐬𝐸𝐾 tribe in 1201. This victory allowed him to consolidate his power and establish himself as the leader of the Mongol tribes. He was officially proclaimed the leader of the Mongols in 1206, and he set about establishing his authority over the entire region. Genghis Khan's rise to power was also aided by his shrewd use of diplomacy and cultural exchange. He encouraged trade along the Silk Road, which facilitated the exchange of goods and ideas between the East and West. He also promoted religious tolerance and was known for his patronage of the arts and sciences. This helped him gain the respect of other cultures and leaders, and it helped establish his reputation as a powerful yet enlightened ruler. Genghis Khan's rise to power was marked by a combination of military victories, political alliances, and a keen understanding of the power of diplomacy. Conquests and expansion. The name Genghis Khan strikes fear into the hearts of many, and for good reason. This notorious conqueror terrorized much of the world during his reign, leaving a trail of death and destruction in his wake. Genghis Khan's conquests were nothing short of staggering. He and his armies swept across vast swaths of territories, subjugating countless people along the way. It is estimated that his empire, at its peak, covered over 11 million square miles, making it one of the largest in history. Just so we understand how much he was responsible for, he conquered more than 4 times the land conquered by Alexander the Great. But with great conquest comes great bloodshed, and Genghis Khan was no stranger to violence. It was said that he was responsible for the deaths of tens of millions of people during his rule. His armies were notorious for their brutality, often slaughtering entire populations and leaving nothing but rubble in their wake. Under Genghis Khan's rule, the number of casualties was staggering. It is estimated that over 40 million people lost their lives during his reign, which lasted from 1206 to 1227. This included not only those who died in battle, but also civilians who were massacred or died as a result of the harsh conditions that prevailed under his rule. According to some estimates, the global population in 1220 was around 350 million people. So imagine, under his rule, about 11% of the world's population was killed. Imagine one person responsible for killing 11% of the population. That is absolutely insane. To put this in perspective, during the COVID-19 pandemic, around 6.8 million people died worldwide. That is about 0.9% of the population at the time. And the world came to a stop for nearly 2 years. Now imagine if one person today was responsible for killing 858 million people. It's difficult to provide an exact number of conquests, as historical records from that time period are incomplete and sometimes conflicting. However, it's estimated that Genghis Khan led his armies on more than 20 major military campaigns, conquering and subjugating various tribes and nations across Central Asia, China, and Eastern Europe. Let's go over some of the crazy and the hard-to-believe stories of the Khan. One of the craziest stories is about how he destroyed an empire because they hurt one of his messengers. Bersha was a messenger for Genghis Khan who played a crucial role in the downfall of the Khwarezmian Empire in the early 13th century. The Khwarezmian Empire was a powerful kingdom that controlled much of Central Asia, but it was brought down by Genghis Khan's military conquests. Today, the Khwarezmian region is Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan, a region that played an important role in the Silk Road. In 1218, Genghis Khan sent Bershah as an envoy to the Khwarezmian Empire to establish trade relations and seek peaceful relations. However, the Khwarezmian Shah, Muhammad II, mistreated and killed Bershah, which angered Genghis Khan and led to his decision to launch a full-scale invasion of the empire. Genghis Khan's campaign against the Khwarezmian Empire was swift and brutal. His armies swept through the region, sacking cities and killing large numbers of people. The empire was quickly defeated, and its once great cities were left in ruins. The destruction of the Khwarezmian Empire was a significant moment in the history of the Mongol Empire and cemented Genghis Khan's reputation as a ruthless and unstoppable conqueror. It also had a profound impact on the region, leading to major political and cultural changes that would shape the course of Central Asian history for centuries to come. Bershah's role in these events is a reminder of the importance of diplomacy and peaceful relations in avoiding conflict. His mistreatment and death at the hands of the Khwarezmian Shah ultimately led to the downfall of an entire empire, demonstrating the high stakes involved in international relations and the devastating consequences that can result from even small acts of violence or disrespect. The Mongol Massacre of Turkmenistan. The invasion began in 1220 when the Mongols attacked and conquered the Khwarezmian Empire. In the following years, the Mongol armies continued their conquest, pillaging and destroying cities in their path. In 1221, the Mongols reached the city of Merv, one of the largest and wealthiest cities in the region. The city was sacked and its inhabitants massacred, with the death toll ranging from 700,000 to over 1 million people. The Mongol invasion of Turkmenistan was characterized by extreme violence and brutality. The Mongol armies were known for their use of terror tactics, such as decapitating entire populations and stacking severed heads into pyramids as a warning to others. It's said that the Khan's army left so many piles of bodies and bones that they formed mountains. Genghis Khan, the founder and the first emperor of the Mongol army, is known to have had a keen eye for talent when it came to selecting his top generals. One of the most famous appointments was that of the soldier 𝐥𝐤𝐬, who would go on to become one of the most successful and feared commanders in Mongol history. 𝐥𝐤𝐬 was originally a member of a rival tribe who was captured by Genghis Khan's forces during a battle. Impressed by 𝐥𝐤𝐬's bravery and fighting skills, Genghis Khan offered him a position in his army. 𝐥𝐤𝐬 accepted and quickly proved himself to be a skilled and innovative commander, known for his ability to outmaneuver his opponents. The reason for hiring him is said to have come after 𝐥𝐤𝐬 shot the horse that the Khan was on. Instead of killing him, the Khan hired him. He knew the soldier would be an asset to his army. 𝐥𝐤𝐬 played a key role in many of the Mongols' most famous campaigns, including the invasion of Khwarezmia and the conquest of Central Asia. He was also a close ally of another famous Mongol general, Subutai. The two of them formed a formidable team on the battlefield. Despite his successes, 𝐥𝐤𝐬's career was cut short when he died during a battle in 1227, the same year as Genghis Khan's death. Nevertheless, his legacy lived on, and he was remembered as one of the most brilliant military minds of his time. Genghis Khan's decision to hire 𝐥𝐤𝐬 as one of his top generals is a testament to his ability to recognize and cultivate talent, even among his enemies. It also highlights the importance of skilled and innovative leadership in the success of the Mongol Empire's conquest. The way he celebrated success was extremely brutal. The Battle of Khalkha River, now Russia-Ukraine area, was a major military engagement between the Mongol Empire and the Kievan Rus in 1223. It resulted in a decisive victory for the Mongol forces, and Genghis Khan himself is said to have celebrated the victory at a grand feast. According to historical accounts, Genghis Khan had a platform constructed near the battlefield where he and his commanders feasted and celebrated their victory over the Kievan Rus. Literally, over them. He placed the Russian generals and some soldiers tight to each other under the platform. The Khan and his army were celebrating while their enemies suffocated and suffered, dying slowly below them. The platform was said to have been built from the captured weapons and equipment of the defeated Rus army, symbolizing the Mongols' triumph over their enemies. Genghis Khan's legacy and death. The death of the people who buried Genghis Khan is a story shrouded in mystery and legend, according to Mongolian folklore. After Genghis Khan's death in 1227, his body was transported back to Mongolia and buried in an unmarked grave in the 𝐤𝐤𝐬 Mountains. To ensure that the location of the grave would remain secret, all of the people who were involved in the burial were killed. Some accounts suggested that as many as 2,000 people were executed in order to keep the location of the tomb hidden. The exact details of these events are unclear, and it is possible that the story has been embellished over time. However, it is generally accepted that Genghis Khan's burial site remains a mystery to this day. Despite numerous attempts to locate the tomb, including satellite imaging and ground surveys, the location of Genghis Khan's final resting place remains unknown. This has led to speculation and intrigue, with many people eager to uncover the secrets of the great conqueror's burial site. While the story of the people who were killed to protect the location of Genghis Khan's tomb may be apocryphal, it highlights the reverence and respect that the Mongolian people have for their national hero. Genghis Khan's legacy continues to loom large in Mongolia and beyond, and the mystery surrounding his burial site only adds to his mystique and enduring appeal. The legacy of Genghis Khan, the founder and the first emperor of the Mongol army, is complex and far-reaching. While he is remembered as a ruthless conqueror who presided over one of the largest empires in history, his influence extends far beyond military conquest and political power. One of Genghis Khan's most enduring legacies is the role in shaping the culture and social identity of the Mongolian people. He is revered as a national hero and is credited with unifying disparate tribes and creating cohesive Mongolian identity. His leadership and vision laid the groundwork for the Mongolian people to achieve independence and autonomy in the centuries that followed. In addition to his impact on Mongolian culture, Genghis Khan also had a profound influence on global history. His conquests transformed the political and social landscape of much of Asia and Eastern Europe, and his military tactics and strategies continue to be studied and emulated today. The Mongol Empire was able to facilitate cultural exchange and trade along the Silk Road, opening up new avenues of commerce and communication between East and West. Genghis Khan's legacy also includes important contributions to law and governance. He established a code of laws known as the Yasa, which governed the behavior of his subjects and set standards for justice and punishment. He also instituted a system of meritocracy, promoting individuals to positions of power based on their ability rather than their social status or family ties. Despite his reputation as a conqueror, Genghis Khan is also remembered for his progressive views on religion and tolerance. He famously declared, "There is only one sky and one earth, and we are all one family." And he encouraged religious diversity and freedom of worship within the empire. Today, Genghis Khan's legacy continues to be celebrated in Mongolia and around the world. His influence can be seen in the art, literature, and culture of Mongolia, as well as in the enduring fascination with his life and achievements. While his legacy is complex and multifaceted, it is clear that Genghis Khan remains a powerful and influential figure in global history. Thank you for being with us for this episode of the Dark History Project. Hopefully we inspired some of you to look further into these characters and stories. Please help us out by sharing, subscribing, or liking this episode. If the platform you are listening to allows for comments, please let us know what you think. Feel free to discuss this topic or what topics you would like for us to cover in the future. We hope you enjoyed it, and our next episode will come out soon, where we talk about the world of deepfakes, a closer look at the dark side of artificial intelligence. See you then.